what's up everyone, Duquesne23 here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be testing the performance of Forge in this leak build. Now, I've seen a lot of comments over on, Twitter just wondering, like, because they see all these beautiful maps that people are making, like Infinite Forges is making and everyone, and everyone's wondering, well, what's the performance like? So far, what Infinite Forges and I have said on the maps that we have made in the league build is that there really isn't any noticeable drops in FPS or anything like that on the maps that we're making. But I wanted to kind of go full into this, so I went ahead and loaded up a stream and started throwing just so many things into one corner of Behemoth. I use Behemoth just because it is a pretty stable multiplayer map. Just whenever like you're in the Forge, in the leaked Forge build, there are certain multiplayer maps like Live Fire that is very, it kind of crashes a lot more. So I went on Behemoth and I shoved everything that I put out here into one like fourth of a section of the actual map. Like I just wanted to try to concentrate everything on one section of the map, so that way it is as compact and everything as possible in that one section. So whenever you go into it, there's going to be a lot of stuff there. So I did this over on stream. If you want to be able to watch any of my stuff, any of the maps I make and everything on stream, it's twitch.tv/Duquesne23. I stream every single day over there. But yeah, so I loaded this up on there and I tried to get a nice variety of objects that I think would kill performance, at least that did kind of kill performance in Halo 5. Things like a lot of trees, vegetation options on here, different FXs like, the water splashes and the fires and stuff like that. And especially steam. The steam fill in Halo 5 really killed, it tanked performance whenever you put any of those out on maps. So I wanted to put a bunch of those. I put explosions out on the map. I also tried doing some golf balls and everything on the map because those are some dynamic objects. So I just tried to do as much as possible. And of course, since this is the league build, I'm running this on my PC, and I have a 2070 GPU, not a Super or anything like that, or a 30 series card, just a 2070. I do have a Ryzen 9 3900X processor and 32 gigs RAM, and all the Infinite settings were on max, like as high as they can go, and the FOV that I'm using is 100 FOV here. And I also had it capped at 60 FPS. My PC, like on there, I just always have it capped at 60 FPS because I don't really care for going over, but I know a lot of people like that. But I figured with this, let's cap it at 60 since that's a lot of things what the consoles are going to be as well. So I went ahead, maxed everything out as high as possible in Ultra, and made it into just cap 60 FPS. And I had 2,000 palm trees in this one little section here. If y'all don't believe me, y'all could go watch the VOD of the stream. I'll link that below in the description. I have the entire VOD there. Y'all can watch and y'all can see me placing all these out. We had 2,000 palm trees, 200 10x10 lavender flowers, 50 4x16 water splash FXs, 50 golf balls. Now, I didn't put dynamic golf balls specifically on there because whenever we went into the custom game with the bots, for some reason the golf balls would not move dynamically on there. Now, it worked while I was in Forge, but I wanted to really test it with multiplayer, with bots and everything. So for some reason the golf balls, but I still have 50 golf balls on there. And while testing it in Forge, in the test mode in Forge, they did work dynamically, and I hit them with hammers and everything like that and stuff, and there was barely any. I think there was only like 2 frame drops or something like that with it. But we have 25 Fire Pires FXs, 10 Steam Fill FXs, and 10 UNSC Explosion FXs. So these are a whole bunch of stuff on there. There's just a lot of things going on this map, like crazy. For one thing, just having the 2,000 palm trees, that basically surpasses Halo 5's object count that it can have on there. So Halo 5 was not able to even have 2,000 objects on the map. And I had 2,000 palm trees in this tiny little area right here. Now, whenever I went into custom games with the bot, I turned the bots on Spartan difficulty, so they're, throwing more nades and doing more things like that. And and so we're just running around in there. Whenever I just walked through, the lowest I got it was 54 frames per second. That's the lowest. It went from 60 to 54 walking through all these objects, like the 2,000 palm trees, 200 lavender flowers, all the water splashes and the fires and the steam fills and the explosions, everything. It only dropped down 6 FPS whenever I was testing it walking through. And of course, and I spun in circles. I shot and I jumped in there and I did as many like actiony movements as it can, and it only dropping down to 54 FPS there from 60. And whenever I drove through with a mongoose at full speed, it did drop down to 49 FPS on there, because the mongoose of course moves drastically faster. And so going through there with a mongoose dropped down 11 FPS from 60 to 49, but it only did that for a split second. And the thing is that people need to remember is no Forge map is going to be like this. You are not going to play a multiplayer map in, like, let's say matchmaking or with your friends, unless it's intentional, doing this with your friends. But any person who's going to be making a Forge map is not going to put out 2,000 palm trees and 200 lavender, 10 by 10 lavender flowers and 50 water splashes all in a tiny little section of a map. Like, Behemoth isn't even that big of a map, and I only used a small section of the map to shove everything in this into. So you're not going to get that type of stuff. So it drops down, while driving a mongoose at 49 FPS. And it's like, that's perfectly fine. It only drops, FPS for a split second, and then it goes right back up. So it's one of those things where FPS in this game is pretty strong. Like, their performance on here, at least with Forge maps, are going to be great. At least from what we're able to experience here and what I was able to test in this leak build here. Like, performance is going to be fantastic. All the other type of maps that I make, like I'm currently making 2 different racetracks and everything like that. And a lot of them, they have a lot of stuff on them. I mean, a lot of rocks, trees, vegetation, a lot of, terrain, a lot of different things on there. And I haven't seen any type of drops while I'm driving through on a mongoose, stuff. Of course, if you had 2,000 palm trees and 200 lavender flowers and everything like that, you're gonna have some issues in one tiny little area, and they're not spaced out or anything. They're gonna definitely have some issues. But going on here, it was awesome being able to do that. So if you do want to be able to see me stream, my Twitch is twitch.tv/Duquesne23. I want to say thank you to all the patrons out there for helping support, all the subscribers. Thank you so much for the continued support as well. This was a ton of fun to be able to just test this. After seeing some comments on Twitter, I just wanted to test this and see how it did. How was actually, purposely trying to get the performance to drop by shoving, thousands of objects into one tiny area. And really, it held up very well. It held up a lot better than what I thought it was going to do. I thought it was going to be tanking performance of things, because in Halo 5, you throw down like 10 grass pieces and it tanks performance and stuff in Halo 5. So I was expecting a lot more on here, but it's great that this is like this. And so if y'all want to be able to see more Halo Infinite Forge, stuff and everything, be sure to subscribe right here onto this channel. I would also be coming out with some showcases of some people's stuff that they made here in this leaked build, because there's some definitely really cool things that people are making. And that will be it. And remember to subscribe and check out my other links in the description. And I'll see y'all in the next video. And remember, let's forge a new Halo.